Millions of Zimbabweans living in South Africa are today grappling with the outcome of the presidential election in their country. Expectedly, reactions are cautious and mixed on where the president-elect, Emmerson Mnangagwa, will be taking the country. Our South African bureau chief, Betty Dibia, spoke to a number of them on the Zimbabwe they would like to see.
The election results have been called and Emmerson Mnangagwa declared the winner. He will be president for the next 5 years. And for the many Zimbabweans living in South Africa, reactions and expectations are varied. Jestara used to be a movie star back home. Now he's a security man in South Africa.
I hope and pray for Zimbabwe. I love Zimbabwe, as I said, as much as it loves me. I'm also a boxer by profession. Now I'm training boxers, and I used to train boxers in Zimbabwe. But now, look, I'm working in a security company here.
Susan Svambambire is a cleaner.
Chamisa is still a young guy. And this Mnangagwa, they were eating the same plate with Mugabe. So I don't think there's any change.
Chigura is a building manager in downtown Johannesburg.
We want them to improve the economy for the better of the people of Zimbabwe. We don't enjoy in these foreign countries. We want to go back home and work for our country and develop our country for the better of our country and for the better of our children.
Wherever you see some of these very colorful pieces of wire art, you know that there are Zimbabwean men at work. And we're here at the Rosebank area of Johannesburg to speak with some of them on how they feel about the elections in their country.
We met Lloyd Standy, a former local politician in Zimbabwe, now a wire artist on the streets of Johannesburg. He voted for the opposition in the elections, but his expectations for change are measured.
If I go to Zimbabwe, I'm going to assess the situation there, how things are going to be, because we don't expect a miracle overnight. You know, it's a process, because Zimbabwe has been ruined, you know, by the former man Mugabe. So now we're looking forward for things slowly to change. It's not overnight change.
To put Zimbabwe on the mend, some political analysts have several items on the priority list.
The number one priority is what is the role of the military? Does it pull back? Does it allow the politicians and the civilians to rule, or does it still maintain control? But then the priority's got to be the economy, finding some way to eat into the huge unemployment in Zimbabwe, to restore confidence both internally and with investors. The relationship with China will be important because China is one of Zimbabwe's major partners.
You know, my advice is please think about building. We don't want fake promises. We don't want fake investment calls.
It's a huge task to rebuild. Hopefully the winning side will reach out to every stakeholder in the interest of Zimbabwe. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
We're still keeping our eyes on the outcome of the elections in Zimbabwe, and we are now being joined by a senior lecturer of international law at the Nasarawa State University, Mr. Chukwuemeka Eze. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
So, Nelson Chamisa says he will legally challenge the results of the elections. How successful do you think he'll be?
I think his chance will be slim. I don't think he will succeed in that challenge. My position, which I prophesied before the election, is that for the 38 years ZANU-PF was in power, it had succeeded in ossifying Zimbabwe with ZANU-PF everywhere. So it will take more than one election to actually pull out ZANU-PF supporters in the judiciary, legislature, and everywhere. So it will take time. So it is a situation of Zimbabwe shall be free from ZANU-PF. It will take time because it is not yet Uhuru.
Okay. So earlier, the MDC alliance said they had won the election, but this was before the
announcement.
Yes, the announcement of the election results. And then this led to protests on the streets. Do you think they'll be held responsible for the 6 deaths during the protest?
Rather, the people that shot them should be held responsible. And the president has said, called for independent investigation. And that means he's not holding Chamisa responsible. So if the president has called for independent investigation, everybody should wait for the result of that independent investigation, if it will ever come. And he said they are already talking to Chamisa. So if they are talking to him, and at the same time they want to hold him responsible for the death of the 6 Zimbabweans, definitely that will inflame the tension in the country. So I don't think it is advisable, and I don't think they will do so. Rather, the people that shot them should be charged to court for applying disproportionate force in the circumstance.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Chukwuemeka Eze, on the program.
Thank you.
Still to come, our Africa Tech segment takes a look at the importance of artificial intelligence in Africa. Please stay with us.